Welcome to Just Asia, AHRC TV's weekly human rights program. These are the headlines. Hong Kong lawyers march in protest at Beijing interpretation of basic law. Prominent British activist leaves Thailand amidst legal harassment. Indonesian protest against Chinese Christian governor underlines impunity for hate crimes and intolerance. Media face blockade in Burma's Rakhine state. Urgent appeals from Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Welcome to AHRC TV's Just Asia. I'm April. This week, Just Asia begins with Hong Kong, where the legal community marched silently on Tuesday in protest against Beijing's high-handed interpretation of the territory's basic law, to prevent two elected activists from taking up their seats in parliament. More than 2,000 lawyers marched in black, aghast at China's meddling in Hong Kong's judicial affairs. Beijing handed down its ruling barring Yau Wai-ching and Baguio Leung from taking office on Monday due to their alleged modification of their oath. According to Hong Kong's leading pro-democracy voices Nathan Law and Eddie Chu, Beijing's ruling was not just an attack on two pro-independence politicians, but rather an attempt to put the political reins on the whole of Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement. Prominent advertisements in Tuesday morning papers read, "Beijing destroys rule of law, Hong Kong world city no more." In an earlier rally on Sunday, thousands of supporters came out to protest against China's meddling in Hong Kong affairs. Beijing's interpretations had made it clear that there is no more a one country, two systems principle. In Thailand, British human rights activist Andy Hall decided to leave the country on November 7th due to legal and corporate harassment. For the past 11 years, Hall has been working to promote migrant labor rights in Thailand. He is the International Affairs Advisor to the Migrant Worker Rights Network and the State Enterprise Worker Relations Confederation. His work has led to charges of criminal defamation and violations of the Computer Crime Act. Earlier this year, on September 20th, the Bangkok South Criminal Court issued this judgment convicting Andy Hall for criminal defamation and computer crimes. This conviction resulted from a case prosecuted against Andy Hall in relation to the publication of a report by Finwatch on migrant worker abuse in Thailand's pineapple industry. Andy Hall was a researcher providing raw data for this report, but he did not analyze the data, write the report, or publish it. However, Andy Hall was sentenced as defendant in this case to 4 years imprisonment and a 200,000 baht fine. As Andy Hall was seen to have given beneficial evidence, his sentence was reduced by 25%. The court suspended his imprisonment sentence for 2 years on the basis that Andy Hall was an activist working for public benefit. In his statement, Andy Hall noted that currently the situation in defending migrant worker rights has rapidly deteriorated in Thailand with significantly increased risk and aggressiveness evident. As a result, I want to ensure time for existing tense situations of conflict to reduce as well as provide time and space for the many parties to fully understand the importance of migrant worker rights. Only if such a positive situation is developed can people like myself work genuinely and most productively, free from threats and intimidation and without endless prosecution that prevent our work from proceeding effectively. In an additional statement made to the media, Andy Hall said he will appeal the Bangkok court conviction and that he has assigned all authority to act on his behalf to his head lawyer. Indonesia saw its biggest rally on November 4th, with more than 200,000 participants outside the presidential palace in Jakarta. They were calling for the prosecution of Chinese Christian governor Mr. Basuki Thaharjapurnama, popularly known as an Ahok. Ahok is accused of committing blasphemy, even though his statement was edited and then uploaded onto YouTube. Hardline Islamic groups such as the Islamic Defender Front are using this to divide people on religious and ethnic grounds. For instance, social media messages were circulated suggesting that if one didn't join the Friday rally, one's faith in Islam was weak. The rally also heard calls of "Crush the Chinese," a sentiment left over from the Suharto era, which still has not been resolved. Ahok is running for election next year, and his political opponents continue to use both his race and religion against him. This is particularly troubling in Indonesia, where minority beliefs are unprotected. At the same time, no action is taken against those engaging in hate crimes and speech, which can only worsen religious intolerance. In the 2 years of President Joko Widodo's administration, not a single case of religious intolerance or hate crime has been prosecuted. Not only do the perpetrators enjoy impunity, but in many cases, they were even aided by the police. Next, Burma is restricting media entry and reporting into the military operations in Rakhine State, where the majority of residents are Rohingya Muslims. Following the killing of policemen at border post in October by Rohingya militants, the Burmese military has cracked down on villages there. No food aid or media are allowed entry. Recent reports of sexual abuse against Rohingya women by soldiers have led to the dismissal of one reporter from the Myanmar Times. The current military operation in Rakhine has increased tension between the civilian government of Aung San Suu Kyi and the Burmese military. Although Aung San Suu Kyi has appointed a commission to resolve the Rohingya issue, headed by former UN Chief Kofi Annan, there are concerns as to the actual goals of the commission and what it can achieve. For more information, Just Asia speaks to Burmese lawyer Min Luin O.
Yeah, current situation in Rakhine State, it's a little bit different. Maundo area is under control, and then other area means near the border, it's a little bit tightened control because of the security. And then yesterday also, some of the terrorists, they came to the village and then they killed some of the Bengali family members. That is why border is high tension and high security. Yeah, the media is always happen. Last week, UN coordinators and Miss Renata and some diplomat, US, British ambassador, EUN, UN official, China, Egypt, Indonesia, Thai, Turkey, diplomat visit this area. And then some of the villagers, they holding the poster with stop raping and stop mass murdering, something like that. And then they ask these people, how many people raped in this village? And then they said no. And then how many people are mass murdering in this area? They said no. Why you holding this poster? We don't know. And then some of the telephone holder and leaders, they give us. And this message came from the mobile telephone from Bible. And then they showing this when the UN official and some NGOs and diplomats came here, and then you must hold this poster. Some of the area is a little bit high tension because of the military and border police. They lost 56 guns and ammunition. That is why they are searching for these weapons and ammunition. That is why sometimes they are crossfire. And then at that time, some of the villagers is the middle of the crossfire, they are dead. Aung San Suu Kyi said, we will do within the existing law. And then so now it's 150 suspects are arrested. But they are investigate according with law. We don't have to hide anything. We are openly and we use existing law within under control this area.
Finally, the Urgent Appeals Weekly features 4 cases from Sri Lanka and Pakistan. In Sri Lanka, Rangala police refused to conduct an investigation regarding the adoption of a person's married wife, even though all the necessary details were provided. Also in Sri Lanka, Mahesh Kumara Fernando of Baralasa, Puttanam district, was illegally arrested, detained and tortured by police officers of the Wenampua police station. Another incident of torture in Puttanam district occurred when the Salia Veva police officers entered the home of a pregnant woman and tortured her. She was later treated at Puttanam General Hospital. In Pakistan, amidst fighting between 2 influential armed tribes, the Tahim and Kabrani, police from RD44 police station, Jacobabad, held 4 women for ransom illegally, keeping them for 11 days at a private location, releasing them only after getting 600,000 rupees on confiscating a rice threshing machine and fish farm. That is all for this episode of Just Asia. For more on this and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia or www.alrc.asia/justasia. Thank you for watching and see you next week.